From the USA to Europe and into the Caribbean, all the world over, this is Caribbean Gospel Radio FM, keeping you inspired and informed.
How you doing, everybody? I hope you're feeling fine. We're gonna lift up the name of Jesus Christ. Sing Jesus, Jesus. Sing Jesus. I love the name Jesus, Jesus. Yeah. The society want me to stay a certain way, but I shall hold the faith, man, not stray. Within them boxes, conform to their ideas, but I only wish to follow you. Cause when they see me, they should know that I am an ambassador for you. Now, no time for follow the crowd. If you agree, I wanna hear you now. Let me sing Jesus, Jesus. You're the center of my life. Let me sing Jesus, Jesus. You gave me peace and took away all my strife. Jesus, you filled my heart with joy. Jesus, oh, every day I love you more. La 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 la. Sometimes the people around me ostracize me from my faith. They ask, how can I believe in something I can't see it? Can't see the wind, but you know that it is there. Well, that is how I know that Jesus is near. There's nothing you can say that will ever make me doubt him. He has brought me through so many storms, so I should sing his praise forevermore. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, you're the center of my life. And may you sing Jesus, Jesus. Gave me peace and took away all my strife. Jesus, filled my heart with joy. Jesus, oh, every day I love you more. You've been so good to me, and I thank you. I thank you. So I shall forever live for you. Whoa, Jesus, Jesus, you're the center of my life. Jesus, Jesus, gave me peace and took away all my strife. Jesus, you filled my heart with joy. Jesus, oh, every day I love you more.
A blessed and pleasant evening to you. We want to welcome you aboard this evening to our legal program, The Law and You, with attorney Georgia Lawrence. Stay tuned. She'll be joining us momentarily. And the program this evening is going to be real interesting. You don't want to miss it. All right?
Said I love you, really love you. Every day I love you more. La 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 la. Every day I love you.
And here she is, the lovely, lovely attorney Georgia Lawrence. Good evening to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Okay, I am doing well myself. I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day.
I did.
You
How
did?
about you? Happy belated Mother's
Alrighty,
Day.
hello, Georgia. How are you?
Thank you so
I'm
much.
good. How are you, Ray?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. I think you're looking sideways, or is it on my camera?
Yeah, it is actually sideways. I have my, I'm using my phone, so it's connected to the Wi-Fi. And Tiffany,
Okay.
how are you?
Perfect. Hey, Michelle.
How's
And hello, Michelle.
everybody?
Nice
Hello,
to meet you.
hi.
I'm not even sure if we're on.
Are we on Facebook?
Facebook
I
and
did get a video
YouTube.
on Facebook. I got like I got shared a video.
Yeah, I sent it to you via message. Oh, I think we're on.
Yes, you're all on, so go right ahead.
All righty, welcome everyone. Ray, nice to see you. Hey, Michelle. I like your hair. That's locks?
Yes, I got sister locks.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Low-key jealous. Hey, Tiffany. I like your hair too.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Why you look, where's Christella?
I don't know. I thought you said you spoke to her.
I did. I sent her a text message. So she'll probably be running it. Ray, do you still have to leave early?
Yes, I have a dinner starting at 7.
Oh,
But I figured I wanted to come on, and I thought that there were actually some relevant experiences that are very niche that I thought would be good to share.
Okay, perfect. So we'll go ahead and start so that we can get Ray to go on his date.
not a date.
All right. So today we're going to talk about the immigrant's perspective. So a lot of you have seen in the news how immigration have become increasingly polarized over the last few years, I would say. Now people who were silent on certain issues, they're now talking up, and we see that it's a real thing out there. There's big talk on amnesty. People have different perspectives. So we're all here to give our take on how we view some of the things that are happening in the news, and to share our story, whether or not we're immigrants or we're related to immigrants. So we're going to actually start out with Ray. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. He was born and raised in California, practices personal injury in Florida. He primarily focuses on personal injury and wrongful death with, I see, a specialization in TBI, that's traumatic brain injury, correct?
Correct, yes.
Yes. His goal is to ensure that people he represents are not being taken advantage of. So welcome to the show, Ray. We're glad you're here. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you. It's thank you guys for allowing me to be part of the show. It's really good to see Tiffany again and Georgia, and very nice to meet you, Michelle, and anybody else who's on here who hasn't been addressed. But yeah, so I'm Lebanese originally, born and raised in Los Angeles, but my parents are born and raised in Lebanon. I am a first generation Lebanese American. I definitely absolutely love being here. This is one of the greatest countries that offers opportunity ever, but there's definitely things that you are disadvantaged in general as an immigrant anywhere, but especially over here. And from where it comes into perspective, from where I see it, is in the personal injury field. Generally, and not to say that this is, and it just depends really on, what had happened and, the specifics of it. But generally, from what I've seen, is that a settlement in a personal injury case will generally be less for somebody who's an immigrant, right? Because they're not going to go to court to fight it and do all that. But some people generally will. But that's something that you can do. And you have full rights to do that even as an immigrant. You can take things to court, and if you've been injured for anything due to the negligence of somebody else, then you can pursue that. But a lot of people are deterred from that. And even the PIP laws in Florida, and I don't know if everybody's in Florida, but Florida's a no-fault state, and just what that means is that you have to carry PIP coverage, personal injury protection, which is usually have a deductible. But that means that if you and anyone else are involved in a motor vehicle accident.
Hold on, Ray. Hold on. I'm sorry. If you're not speaking, please go ahead and put your mic on mute. Yeah. Go ahead, Ray.
And so generally, you have to carry PIP coverage. If you and I were to be in a motor vehicle collision, regardless of whose fault it is, both of us will be able to go to the doctors and treat up to $10,000. Right now, that's on the ballot to be changed. It's generally more of an insurance twist, because then people are deterred from filing lawsuits. But the reason why I'm saying this is because you have to be a legal resident of the state of Florida in order to qualify for PIP. And I'll give you an example from a real life case that we had very recently. A girl was visiting from Colombia, and she was on a electric scooter when she was hit by a car while crossing the street. Luckily, she only suffered from a broken leg, right? But when it came down to bill payment, because she was transferred to the hospital via EMT, and the hospital bills are pretty expensive, especially if you have like pretty big injuries where they're actually doing, a lot of treatment. That was something that's the first thing that's supposed to pay out is your PIP. Your PIP pays before your health insurance or it goes to collections or anything happens. If you have PIP, the provider actually is legally obligated to bill PIP. So they would not qualify her for PIP. And I said, there is no way, like the PIP statute says that. They're like, yeah, she doesn't get it because she's not a resident. I'm like, hold on, that like doesn't sound right at all. But I'm like, there's no way that can be it. And I kind of argued with the lady, but then I'm like, hold on, like, let me go and check this out and see what, like, exactly what it says. And it turned out that you can't get PIP if you are a non-legal resident. But we still were able to qualify her for PIP even though she did not qualify for PIP, she still had significant injuries, which that person is still liable for. And what we did is that we made our settlement contingent on her getting PIP. So we're like, they tendered their policy limits, their $100,000 policy limits. They tendered that in less than 1 week. It's actually one of my most successful cases and just got resolved in the quickest amount of time.
That's
and
good.
And the client got a most than probably any other client that I've had. So it just really, really worked out for her. And we even got PIP to pay for which PIP has never done before. And it was through Geico to pay for, because you have to have all these certain specifications that your facility does in order for PIP to pay you. So that in America is very hard to do, let alone in Colombia, where we got PIP to actually pay for her surgery there because she wanted to go back home and be amongst friends and family, which is understandable. But that's a lot harder to get surgery and get PIP to pay for that through that. But just kind of how things happened and just how the case evolved and the liability that was there, we were able to really invest the resources and the risks of that driver and help, fully hold them responsible for it. So that was a very interesting twist. And I learned that, if you're not a legal permanent resident, you don't get PIP, but kind of the workaround, I guess, is just knowing that you can still get that if you, granted, it's not for every single case, but if it's certain cases that warrant it, it's absolutely something that should be brought up to, your attorney and say, hey, because they may not know it and they may not want to do it. They may not, but it's something that exists and it can be done.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Ray. Because I know that a lot of foreign national, what happened is that, especially if they're undocumented, they're scared. So if, say, for instance, they're in a car accident, and we see that in the criminal realm too, where I've known people who they've been sexually molested and the parents basically hide it. They don't report it simply because they're scared, like they may look into their immigration situation. So normally, if it's in the civil realm, is it a case where when you're filing a lawsuit, they will ask about your immigration status?
So absolutely. In deposition, the defense is looking for every minus to give you everything that they can do to take away and I don't know if anybody does insurance defense here, and that's no offense, but that's just the truth of it. But anything that the insurance company can do to subtract, take away, and devalue your injuries and the value of your claim, they absolutely will do it, and without a heartbeat. And there are people who feel weird about it. Which is just,
even in their position, it would be a case where it would be seen as a threat, because I'm thinking if this is something where it may possibly go before a judge, would the judge look at that?
No, generally, no. And it depends on the spin that you put on it, right? If the person is doing everything that they should be doing and they're just an innocent, injured person, and it depends on where you are in the state. There's certain areas that are we have a case right now. I'll give you a perfect example. We have a Canadian person and it's in Palatka. Do you think his immigration status is going to play a role in it? Absolutely, because people in Palatka are not the most it's not a prime venue for it. So that's absolutely something that comes into play. But just on the molestation part, if there's actually somebody who's a U.S. citizen who commits like a act of domestic violence against somebody who's not, they could get a pathway. I don't know if it's to permanent residency, but there is a pathway to at least residency because of that. Just
Yeah, I
something
know
to,
with the U visa, you can, based on the crime. So rape is one where you have a pathway to permanent residency for that. But the thing is, a lot of people are afraid to come forward. Like the other day, I posted a video where I spoke about the U visa and T visas. And a lot of people reach out because really they didn't know about it.
mm-hmm. What are those? I don't know about this.
So the U visa is the one that you're talking about where you're a victim of a particular crime. And then the T visa is a trafficking visa where, you know, you have human trafficking, labor trafficking. So once you're able to prove certain elements, you may be able to get some sort of documentations here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. No, that's very cool. And what does everybody do? Tiffany, I know that are you doing PI too? I saw you nodding in agreement.
No, I'm not doing PI, but I'm doing a little bit of housing and family law. So I'm doing both. So I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of housing and family law, but I didn't know you were doing PI.
Yeah. I never thought I'd be doing PI, but it just feels like it's the most interesting. Recently joined Morgan and Morgan, and that's like the place that I definitely want to be. And you know, it's the perfect spot because there's a lot of good resources and people there. You know, and they take things to trial. Like we'd actually just got a 120 million. They call it a nuclear verdict in Gainesville against the city of Gainesville. It's capped at $200K, and we won't be able to collect because you have to pass a new law. But like,
yeah,
it was a $120 million verdict for a client who was paralyzed and wasn't like me or anywhere near, you know, me, but just like our top dog litigators. But it was just a very bold statement, and it's like very impactful because it will, right now, mandatory bodily injury is on the ballot. Michelle, if you don't have Georgia, if you don't have I'm sure Tiffany, you know already about that, but that's probably the most important coverage you could have here. I would definitely get that. And that's uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage. Mm-hmm. And immigrant or not, you get, you know, then it just depends on, you know, your legal counsel, what they're doing on whether or not you'll be able to do that and get that. So.
Okay. Thank you for that information. So Ray, before you go, what is one thing you would say to foreign nationals that's documented and undocumented as it relates to what you do?
What you think about, you bring about. You know, nobody ever thought that they would be where they are. You know, I'm sure, Georgia, you never thought that you'd be here, as I never thought I'd be here. Mm-hmm. But what you think about, you bring about. And when you want something hard enough, you'll get it. And with immigration status or not, but like, life is crazy how it happens.
Yeah.
And this is a great place to be at. And as long as you're giving your all and you're giving in 110%, then, you know, luck favors the hard working is what I always say.
Thank you so much, Ray. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All righty. So let me look out. I know you have to go. So what I will do is if anyone asks any question and I can lead them to you, I will. What's your contact information that you like the public to have?
Sure. My email is raygosen @gmail.com. And my personal cell phone number, and I may not pick up, but just text me.
Okay.
You know, I'm always glad to help. Text me first.
Hold on. Just give them the email, because guess what? You're over here talking about $1.3 million settlement. You're going to have a lot of girls texting you. Just leave the email. Just
Well,
leave
like I
it
said,
at
it wasn't me or anybody near me. It was our top dog litigator. But no, if anybody needs like any help or just questions about anything, especially as it regards PI, definitely, let me know.
You're practicing in Jacksonville or Orlando, where?
Yeah, and in Jacksonville, downtown.
Okay.
So, yeah, and you're in Orlando, Tiffany?
No, I'm in St. Pete area.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
That's even better. Nice. Okay. Well, very nice to see everybody, and very nice to meet everybody. Very nice to meet you, Michelle.
Nice to meet you.
I'm sure
where's
we'll all
Chris?
be in
Are you
person.
seeing Crystal?
I'm seeing I'm seeing
probably because you're using a smaller screen, but we also have Crystal
sorry,
on
Crystal.
the line. She owns a skincare company called Stella.
Oh, okay. Very nice to meet you, Crystal. Okay, I didn't see on the okay. Alrighty, guys.
Thank you.
Nice seeing you.
Nice
seeing you.
guys. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone. That was Ray, attorney in Jacksonville, Florida, practicing personal injury. So if you have any personal injury question, go ahead, send it to Dr. Monica, or just leave a comment on our Facebook, and I'll ensure that I send your information to Ray. That was all good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Alright.
very interesting.
I didn't know he did a personal injury. Like
He
the whole
does.
time I thought he did criminal law. Like from talking to him, like even in law school, I thought he was gonna do criminal law. That's crazy.
I kind of figured he was gonna get into the torts realm. So
Yeah.
Where is Cristela? Oh,
Can you guys see me?
We can see
we're
you, but your
seeing your-
screen is frozen.
So I'm out here in Tampa, and the service is horrible out here. So I'm sorry
don't
about
talk
that.
about Tampa. That's Michelle's place.
The service is
Well,
kind of
you
bad
have to
though.
work.
She's
You
not
have to
lying.
work with your service here.
All right.
The service is bad.
All right. We still have Dr. Monica with us.
I'm still here.
Okay, she's not talking today. She's actually glad you guys are on because I always ask her for help. But thank you again for allowing us to use your platform. We really appreciate it.
No problem. I'm at your disposal, attorney.
Okay, ma'am. All right. So
And I'm
now
looking.
we're going to go to the lovely Michelle. So I met Michelle in college at the best college, USF. So I see your face.
Go Bulls.
And yes, you're live on Facebook and on YouTube. And I sent you the link. So share it, attorney. Share it with the
Okay.
others. Okay.
All righty. So Michelle is a first-generation Nigerian living in Tampa, Florida. She has a bachelor's and master's in biomedical science, got that from the best university, University of South Florida. She works in the medical industry and she creates content for her blog called The Pipeline. So if you're listening, go on your Facebook, search for The Pipeline, like her page, read her content. She's a very talented writer. Like I was looking through some of her stuff, very inspirational. So Michelle, I'm glad that you could join us today. Tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so as mentioned, I am a first-generation Nigerian American. My parents came over from Nigeria. Well, my dad in like the mid 80s, and then my mom came over a bit later, and then they connected, they met here, and then they had me. Yeah, just being a first-generation Nigerian, and I think everyone who is the children of immigrants can definitely agree that we face a different set of challenges because we kind of have to teeter on the edge of one culture while teeter on the edge of another culture. And sometimes we can be the intermediate between our parents and their thinking and maybe like the American or like the UK way of thinking. So I definitely think that, you know, children of immigrants have their own specific challenges, and it's important for us to talk about that.
Yes, and that's why we're here today. I appreciate that. And so I read some of your content on the pipeline. What caused you to start blogging?
For me, I would say that just growing up, writing was something that I always turned to just as a way of processing thoughts, processing emotions. And I'm someone who I don't believe anything is coincidental. I believe that like God has his hand in everything. So definitely believe that me writing and me developing that skill and it being such an important part of my life was for a reason. And I am someone who loves to encourage people. I definitely believe in the power of hugs. So I'm always doing my best to encourage people, to bless people. And so I figured it would be a good way to spread some positivity, because if you listen to the news nowadays or just basically go on social media,
All
positivity is far and few in between.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something I believe that God put on my heart to do. So I've just been doing it, just being obedient.
That's good. And it's true. Yes, she's a hugger. She's always hugging. All righty. That's good. I'm very proud of you. That is some good. So why did you choose the medical field?
So I'm sure you could speak to other children of immigrants, but at least being Nigerian, your parents don't give you a lot of options as to like your career choices. You're either going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. And so, and I understand it though, because they're coming from the perspective of, you know, they left their home country in search of something better. And, you know, to them, those are stable careers, like you'll always have a job and such forth and so on. So I get it. But then it kind of goes with my point earlier, how we kind of are teetering on the edge of two cultures, because in American culture, you're taught that, you know, follow your passions, follow your dreams. It's much more individualistic as opposed to, let's say my culture, Nigerian culture, which is more community minded, because they're coming from this perspective of this is what's best for everyone, you becoming a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess in my way, like I was interested in medicine. I've always been, but I never really truly believed in my heart that I was meant to be a doctor. And so I kind of had to come to that realization during college that like, okay, I don't think I'm meant to practice medicine. Like I would go to shadowing and everything, and I would see doctors do certain things and be in a room with like surgeries going on, and I'm getting squeamish. I'm about to faint, and I'm like, I don't think this is who I am. This is not how God designed me. So I realize that while I do have an interest in medicine and I do love it, I'm more suited for like the business aspect of medicine. So working in pharmaceuticals, it's kind of like the perfect blend in between the two worlds, because you know the product is medication and the goal is to better people's lives. However, the way in which you do it is the business of facilitating that medication to the customer, you know, being that interface in between the product and the customer. So I think that is something that I definitely am more suited for. So that's how that happens.
Well, I'm glad you realized that early, because you have a lot of people who, because their community or family says one thing, they'll just go ahead and do that, even though they know deep down they're unhappy. So it's good that you realized that and you went after your purpose and not just your family's purpose. And at the end of the day, I'm sure they're benefiting from it. But you mentioned something important where you said back home, it's more like, okay, you're going to be a lawyer, a doctor, or an engineer, versus here, you more so will have parents. And I see it more so now where parents will tell you like, oh, go after your dreams. So I think right now, there you have a lot of people like into, and when we talk about the immigrant perspective, this is what I'm really talking about, where some people will look at foreign nationals and say, oh, you're here, you're taking my job, you're taking up the money I'm supposed to be getting from school, and in return you may hear like a foreign national say something like, oh, but you weren't doing it you're not using the resources that are available to you. A lot of people come here for opportunities. And recently, I don't know if y'all are on Clubhouse, but there was a discussion where you had Americans basically saying they don't like the way, I want to say, immigrants of a certain class, let me just use that term in quotes, but where you may go to college, so you know you have a certain level of status, and how they see them as being like lazy and not wanting to use the opportunities that are available to them. And then you have some like, no, we're hard working too. So it's almost like there's a difference with the way immigrants see Americans and the way Americans see immigrants. What is your take on that?
Well, in regards to Americans seeing immigrants in a certain way as if they were stealing their jobs, I truly believe that that's something that's kind of perpetuated by the media and almost even by corporate America in a sense, because when you think about it, like during like the 1950s and 60s, and even like the 70s to some extent, you know, the majority of Americans weren't necessarily going to college. They're working factory jobs or working what people refer to as like blue collar jobs. But when you think about it, what happened was they realized that labor is much more cheaper in Malaysia or Cambodia. Like if you pick up any article of clothing, it's going to be made in China, made in Malaysia, made in Cambodia. Oftentimes products are made there. Labor is much more cheaper over there. So of course, so now people are in a position where, well, what worked for my grandparents, what worked for my parents is not working for me. Like who's taking all these jobs? And then of course you have somewhere, some media companies, some idea to tell them, oh, it's the immigrants who are taking your jobs. When in actuality, it's the companies and the corporate America who are taking those jobs overseas in search for cheaper labor. So what they have instituted is a game in which like we're pointing fingers at them and they're pointing fingers at us, and you have both people fighting in order to distract everyone from what is actually really going on. So I think that if you really analyze it and like look into history and look into the economic patterns rather than just like looking whatever Fox News, whatever CNN or MSNBC tells you to do, you'll see that the fight is not necessarily against with each other or within immigrant groups, it's against corporate greed. So I think that's the core of that misconception. And then to your latter point about how immigrants and Americans look at each other. The way I grew up is my parents came and my dad went to college. My mom went to nursing school. They both got good careers and like, you know, we're able to live like in a good, you know, upper middle class neighborhood. I went to a good school. So initially I did have issues kind of reconciling that like growing up, because in my mind, I'm like, well, my parents came here with suitcases and they were able to do pretty well. I'm like, what's the disconnect in regards to some things that I see other people going through? But I think what some people don't take into account is, which I'm glad is now becoming much more apparent because people are talking about it, is the generational wealth gaps and often minority groups having issues at getting situated in this country. For instance, like the GI Bill, which was passed after World War II, that, you know, gave a lot of benefits to the white soldiers. So they were able to, you know, go back to school for basically free. They're able to get very low interest mortgages, or basically just have half their house paid off. And like, you know, I don't know if people can really think about how much money you'd be able to store and save and invest if you don't have a mortgage or if you don't have to pay rent or if you can go to school for free. So that kind of set people up with that intergenerational wealth transfer. And if you look at, you know, particularly African Americans in America, we're not given that opportunity. And to my point earlier, when they were moving factory work outside the US, the majority of that was primarily hitting African American communities. For like an example would be Gary, Indiana. So I think we as immigrants, we can't just, look at what we see. We have to dig deeper and understand history and understand the context. And I think another thing we have to do is appreciate the fact that we felt comfortable coming here because of a lot of the work that the African Americans and other groups did, like with the civil rights movement and such forth. And there is still institutionalized racism. There is still a lot of things that we still have to deal with. But the bulk of the work was fronted by African Americans and other groups who are working against racism in the U.S. So without their contributions, we wouldn't even feel comfortable. My parents wouldn't feel comfortable coming here. So I think we have to have that perspective too. And we can't look down upon them. And they also have to understand our perspective of we have our own culture, we have our own perspective too, and they have to get to know us. And I think communication is key in that aspect too.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing, like just having an appreciation and getting to know each other, because some of my closest friends, they're from the islands, but then I came here and I met people who are just as hardworking, and they have the desire to do something good. So you're right, where we just have to really get to know each other. And that also goes back to the hate that we see across the board. So it's good that we can have these kind of communication. I really appreciate that. People need to hear that kind of stuff. So have you ever been to Nigeria?
I actually haven't been. It's something that,
Michelle.
Yeah, it definitely is a shame. I should have a dunce cap on my head right now, but it's just something I just never had the opportunity to go to. I was supposed to go last year for my grandmother's funeral and kind of like, also take that time to get to explore my homeland. But of course, COVID happened.
Yeah.
So we weren't able to have her funeral the way that we would have liked anyways. So hopefully, when things die down, I'm definitely going to make a point. But yeah, so my dad goes very often because part of his business is situated over there. So he's goes several times a year, but how school and work can kind of get in the way of, traveling sometimes.
Okay, understandable. Well, so let me ask you this. What is one thing you'd say is a very Nigerian? So if you hear somebody say something or you see them do something, okay, that's a Nigerian.
So many things. I can't even pick out one. It's very easy to spot a Nigerian male or someone who recently came over just kind of like by their outfit. For some reason, for some reason, everyone wants to wear like those Kangol hats, the hats that all the rappers were wearing in the 80s. They're still stuck on those hats for some reason. And then they'll always have on a polo shirt, definitely always have on a Ralph Lauren polo shirt. And then with skinny jeans and flip-flops, that is like the standard outfit.
Oh,
and
wow.
You can spot it from a mile away. So I would say that's definitely Nigerian. But if you see anyone anywhere,
true.
Anna Hara isn't like that.
No, my cousin, because he's half Nigerian, half Jamaican, and he dresses like that because he grew up in Nigeria. So the flip flops takes the top. Yeah.
It looks like you're getting ready to go to a polo match. You're just trying to keep it a little bit business casual up here, and then you have on slippers, and you're just make a decision. What are you trying to do?
Okay. I think. What do I notice? I think they have nice teeth. I don't know. I really think so. That's something I noticed with Nigerian. Maybe it's just me. But all right, thank you so much, Michelle. Stay around. We're gonna take a quick break. Then we come back. We're gonna talk to Christella. Take it away, Dr. Monica.
All right, thank you so much. And we're listening in to the law, and you guys, don't you go anywhere. All right, so we're just seeing attorney's beautiful face, but we're not actually hearing her voice. So I gotta do that one more time and see if we can get to hear. That's right. There it goes.
Refugees, dirty immigrants, asylum seekers, job stealers, that is what they see. Beautiful faces, thick accents, a melting pot of culture, holding 3 to 4 jobs, back pocket of hopes and dreams, seekers of opportunities, that is what we see. I am Georgia Lawrence, the founding attorney of Georgia Lawrence LLC. I was born and raised in Jamaica. I migrated to the United States with 2 suitcases and $200 to seek a better life. I understand firsthand the importance of having a fighter on your team to navigate the complexity of the immigration system. Hence the reason I chose immigration and human rights law. Here at Georgia Lawrence LLC, we take pride in connecting our passion and purpose to your plan. Give us a call today.
All right, and I should let you know that somebody says, Doc, those ladies are all attorneys. They look like teenagers. So we have, they're all professionals. Let's put it like that. They're all professionals, and I'm so grateful that you're here this afternoon, every one of you. And those of you who are just coming in, you have to listen back because you miss the one thorn that was amongst the roses. I hope you didn't hear me say that, Ray. He was here earlier on, personal injury lawyer. And if you guys missed that, you have to listen back to the program. Did you want me to take a song, Attorney Lawrence, or are you ready to roll? Yes?
Yeah, we're ready to go.
You're ready to go? Go right ahead. Take it away.
Alrighty, thank you. Alrighty, so we have the beautiful Miss Christella Taylor. She was born in what country?
Hi.
What country are you born in?
I was born in Haiti.
You need to say that louder. What country are you born in?
Haiti.
All right. Okay, so she moved to the U.S. at age 9, became a U.S. citizen 6 years ago. She's a mom, soon-to-be wife, and business owner of a skincare company called Stella Bella. So if you're on Facebook, go and search for Stella Bella. That's STELLA BELLA, or look her up, Christella Taylor. Alrighty.
Yes.
So I have the same question for you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, like she already told you guys everything pretty much. My name is Christella Taylor, and I am a business owner, but my most pride and joy is being a mommy to my 1-year-old little boy. So I really enjoy that. And I was born in Haiti. I came to which was a very, it's a horrible culture shock from going from the island and then straight to New York. But, it's been a beautiful blessing being in America and achieving all my goals and dreams. And that's the force behind it, because I know where I came from. I've seen the struggle. I finally went back to Haiti in 2018. In December to go visit my country, because I never went back when I came to America. So I finally went back to see how it was, and they told me to go back because I'm not Haitian.
Oh, wow.
They sent me back to America. So, but it's been yes, they told me I was not Haitian. My own people told me to go back. I was like, I don't belong nowhere then, because I'm not American enough. I'm not Haitian enough. So I'm like in the middle. So, but it's been, I'm proud of my country, my people and stuff. And in my business, I'm trying to help, especially the village where I come from. I try to raise money and send money back there often as possible with my business to help out the people and the children in the country and stuff. So
that's good.
Yes.
Do you know that one time it was called the Pearl of the Antilles? You aware of that?
Pearl of Antilles, yes. I've heard about that. Yeah, I've heard of that before. My grandmother told me about that.
Yeah, it definitely has a rich history, culture in terms of, if you study like history, you look into like different revolutions, you'll realize that there were really some powerful people always standing up for certain things. And it was, in fact, a very rich country. So I think that's why I got the name the Pearl of the Antilles. So we know over the years some unfortunate things has happened, and we want to always keep Haitians in our prayers and help out in any
Yes,
way that we
definitely.
can. I didn't know that you had a like some sort of campaign where you send money back home. That's very good. That's needed because
Yes,
like sometimes we leave and
yes,
we
I
don't
have,
ever
I
want
have
to like
started
turn
that.
our backs on our country.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Yeah, it
mentioned,
was very
oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
I'm sorry.
Crystal.
I have I have started looking for the right organization to help out, how to go about it, because it's difficult sending money, giving to somebody in Haiti. They could do whatever they want, so you can find the right people behind you, the right team to help out and really do good to the people, not just keep the money. Because that's what I've seen since I went back to Haiti and stuff. So it's very challenging and to send money to help out with the children in Haiti. Definitely message me and let me know so I can get in contact with you guys too.
Yeah, that's good. You mentioned something that I want to talk about. You said that here, it's like you don't feel like you're American enough. And when you go there, they say, go back. You're not Haitian. Like, I see that disconnect a lot of times. And I think a lot of people growing up in immigrant household, that's something that you hear them say. Because say, for instance, they're at home, they eat a certain way, they hear a particular language in the household, they're told to do this a certain way, but then they're in school where they're with like all the Americans, and they have to like kind of switch it up, like you have your language, you code switch. So it's almost like they're living double life. So would you say that's what you were experiencing?
That's that's exactly how I felt. Like, and it was, but the thing is that they were judging me when I went to Haiti. It was mostly on like my skin tone. They say I look too light, and I don't even know what that means. So, and the way I speak, they say I had more of an American accent than a Haitian accent. So I don't know, like from the minute I stepped in off the plane, like they were judging me. People were talking about me. They were talking like as if I wasn't Haitian, understanding the language. So I heard what they were talking about on the plane and stuff. So it was a very culture shock, after like 16 years of now being back home, to go back home thinking like, oh, this is gonna be beautiful. I'm going back to my country, and to hear people talk like that, it's kind of sad in a sense, because that's your own people judging you like that. So
yeah,
it has an effect on you. And then when you're here in America, the fact that you do have, an accent when you're speaking, they look at you, oh, she doesn't know English. Oh, she's not this. So it's just like, it's kind of hard sometimes. If you're not strong enough, I think it will get to you at times, So.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's especially sad for younger kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's really sad. But again, it goes to Michelle's point where it's really just teaching like tolerance and acceptance, where we all need to appreciate different cultures, knowing that people come from different backgrounds, and it may not be the same way here, it may not be the same way there. And especially where it's hard when you're dealing with certain family members, like your parents, because it could be a case where, let me just use an example. Say, for instance, you go home and you decide like, oh, you want to pierce your ears, and your parents say, oh no, you want to be American. Like, even the way how you discipline kids is different, and in your household is one thing, but if you come home and you try to explain something to your parents, they probably see it as you being disrespectful, when really it's just two different things going on. So I can imagine it being hard to navigate your way out of situations like that. So,
yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your business. Why skincare?
Why skincare? Well, skincare, they've always implemented that to us, at a very young age. My grandma was always telling us to put lots of Vaseline in our face, clog up your pores, before you go to bed. You know, with the Haitian, you know, we're doing a lot of real masquerade tea in our hair, which is castor oil. So we've always been doing a lot of things. And I went vegan, well, I tried to go vegan like about like 4 years ago. So I was eating clean. I noticed the difference it was in my body. And then I started, you know, taking care of myself internally. Externally, I want to use like natural ingredients. So when I'm reading the labels, like 500 words that I can't even pronounce or whatever. So then slowly I started like doing research and creating my own things. I did for family members and some friends at times. So eventually that's how Stella when Stella Bella, a lot of people call me Stella Bellas because a lot of people call me Stella. So Stella Bella. And it's also a family name too. It's my grandmother's name, my name, my cousin's name. So that's a family legacy of its own right there. And since my grandma taught us pretty much everything, what's the best way to honor her, you know? And then when quarantine hit, I wanted to be home more with my baby. So my fiance, he was like, this is the best time to put yourself out there and try a new experience, something with your business. And that's how Stella Bella came about. So it's been about a year. It's been doing very good. I have my website, StellaBellaSkin.com. And then I have my Instagram, Stella Bella Skin, and Facebook. You can reach me at Stella Bella. I make handmade soap, body butter, hair growth serum with my hair growth serum. I have a lot of patients because I also work in the health field too. So I have a lot of patients who suffers with alopecia. So that's a lot of my patients for my hair growth oil. And then anything you have or you struggle with your skin, because my main goal about it is to make everybody feel beautiful, you know, to embrace your body and how you look the natural way. So if you have any issues with your skin, don't ever hesitate to message me and I can customize something for you if I can help you with anything. I don't ever charge anybody extra or nothing like that. So the goal is to make everybody feel beautiful in their own skin and embrace themselves, you know, like myself right now. No makeup, you know, no eyebrows, you know, and showing you the best version of myself. So
thank you. I appreciate that. You may hear that little boy crying in the background. Lord help me.
Yes.
But yeah, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break and then we'll come back and talk to the lovely Tiffany.
I wanted to ask Stella something because
I'm gonna have to get my babies too.
Her face looks so familiar. Stella, were you in Atlanta last year when the airport hosted a group of Haitians here who were entrepreneurs? Were you with them? No?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Beautiful young people that were doing, they were making waves back in Haiti. All right. Thank you so much. You're listening in to The Law and You. Want to welcome you again to the program. If you're just coming in, this is The Law and You. We'll be right back. Just take some time to chillax to some good music. Head on over to the refrigerator, grab a drink, because we have two other beautiful ladies that Attorney Georgia is going to be talking to. You don't want to miss any more of this. Guys, you'll miss so much. Those of you who are just coming in, you got to do a playback, but don't do it yet, all right? Listen to Chevelle. I'm telling you, the comments are rolling in. We have some beautiful, young, and educated women here. That's what Chevelle is talking about. Sisters, we got to know how we treat each other. Please find them on IG. Find them on Facebook. Find them wherever they are and support them, all right? That's how we do it, sisters, all right? We'll be back in a minute with Attorney, all right? Counting down.
Praise the Lord, that's what you should. Hold fast into the living water. Believe in God's word. It's not about the situation, it's about the Savior. If you confess with your mouth
Gave you a little break right there just to refresh yourself. But I gotta take it down right now because we're inside a very, very informative program and I don't want you to miss a beat. All right, we're talking to the lovely. As a matter of fact, the program is called The Law and you know how that goes. That program is actually hosted by the one and only attorney Georgia Lawrence. All right, so we're gonna get right back in. Hang on a second there for me, attorney. I am coming on over. I got to remind the people what they're listening into.
Refugees, dirty immigrants, asylum seekers, job stealers, that is what they see. Beautiful faces, thick accents, a melting pot of culture, holding 3 to 4 jobs, back pocket of hopes and dreams, seekers of opportunities, that is what we see. I am Georgia Lawrence, the founding attorney of Georgia Lawrence LLC. I was born and raised in Jamaica. I migrated to the United States with 2 suitcases and $200 to seek a better life. I understand firsthand the importance of having a fighter on your team to navigate the complexity of the immigration system. Hence the reason I chose immigration and human rights law. Here at Georgia Lawrence LLC, we take pride in connecting our passion and purpose to your plan. Give us a call today.
All right, and I just wanted to know, Attorney Georgia Lawrence, that we have a friend of mine who is actually studying right now to be an attorney, and she's in.
Awesome.
Yes, her name's Sandra Rush. Can you send a shout out to her for me? She's listening.
I think she did. It's not Sandra Wilson.
No, she's Sandra Rush, and she's in
Okay.
New Jersey.
Okay, drop your name so that we can connect. And welcome to the show, Miss Sandra.
Yes, Attorney Macon. Thank you. Go right ahead. It's all yours.
Alrighty. So, Michelle and I told Crystal had to go. Her baby needs her. Like you already know how it is. These babies act like. All right. So, Michelle, go ahead and drop your website.
Oh, okay.
And I
So
think
earlier
there is someone asking for you, Sandra Wilson. She's trying to find you on Instagram, so you can just put your contact information there. And
Okay.
Sandra, you'll have her information. So I see we have some new viewers. Welcome,
wait a minute.
everyone. You're watching The Law and You.
Can I interrupt you, Attorney?
Go ahead.
I did reach out on our Zoom chat, and Michelle did answer me, and I put the information over there. And Sandra says on your Instagram page, Stella, love what I'm seeing. So they're actually
Awesome.
finding you guys. So yes, please go ahead and give us Tiffany, everybody. And if you have anything for Ray as well, since Ray's already gone, if you have his
I
information.
asked him for his information just now.
Great. All right, go right ahead.
Alrighty, so thank you. All right, so Miss Stephanie, first generation Jamaican, went to USF. No, I mean UCF, not USF. So she went to UCF and Florida Coastal. All right, she's a full-time attorney at a nonprofit organization in St. Pete. Her goal is to impact and inspire the community. Now, I met Tiffany at Florida Coastal, but for some reason, it feels like I've known her forever. She's my little annoying friend, but I love her. I said that out loud.
Oh, no, you didn't. You won't be invited to Thanksgiving ever again.
And you know what? I go to her house for Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yes. Alrighty. So, Tiffany, tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection with immigrants in the United States.
Okay. So, like you already said, I'm one of the first generation children to come here. I was born here. My parents met in Jamaica, and then they got married up here. And then my brother, then me, and my other brother was born. So Yeah, they had a little Jamaican connection, came up here and then blessed the world with me. And then that's the end of the story. But yeah, we're first generation immigrants. You're muted.
I don't know why I keep doing that. So you're into nonprofit, and I know you do a little bit of family law, property law. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
I don't do property, I do housing. It's different.
Housing.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for correcting me. And
Yeah.
she spoke on the show. We have a show where we're talking about family-based immigration, and she did chime in and give us a little family law perspective on that. So what I want you to talk about today is as an attorney there, so you're at like a legal aid office?
Yeah.
So do you have a lot of immigrant clients?
No, not so much. Not a lot of them live in the area that I practice in. So I haven't seen some. There is a few that do come through, but not a lot. Not a lot of immigrants that go there.
Do you think it's a case where they're just not a part of the community, or is it that they're not reaching out for legal help?
Could be a little bit of both. Could be both. Not a part of the community and not reaching out, not trusting an attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do see that where a lot of people connect police, judges, attorneys. They put everybody in the same basket.
Yeah.
As long as you have anything to do with the law, they do not trust you. So they won't reach out for certain help. And then I know some people, like, they look at things like getting public benefits and say how it may affect them. For instance, if they're supposed to get a green card. And I think I did talk about that on a show before, like doing away with the I-944, having to show certain things. So in fact, there's certain benefits that you can get, you're entitled to. Well, let me not say entitled, but you can get it as an immigrant, but some people don't know about this. Now, as far as housing goes, is there, like, I know you have Section 8, different assistance. Is there anything in place to help undocumented immigrants that you know of?
Not that I know of. I haven't heard of anything new that, I haven't heard of anything that would place undocumented immigrants. Not that I know of.
Like, I know for VAWA case, so that's women, you do have shelters. So if you're in an abusive relationship with
men or women, doesn't matter. It could be either or. Yeah.
I know, like, things like that, like, for instance, in Atlanta, they have shelters in place. But again, a lot of people, they don't know about these things that are out there. So if you have a foreign national who is in a situation and they need some sort of housing assistance, what resources would you point them to?
If it is an abusive situation, then you would, point them to the domestic violence centers that are around the area. Other than that, I don't think there's a lot of places don't check, like if you're looking for emergency housing, a lot of places don't check for immigration statuses. You just find housing through them. I know that a lot of the programs that we work with, they don't ask for immigration statuses when we're referring people to them.
Okay, perfect. So about you now, why did you choose nonprofit, working in a nonprofit organization?
I did my internship at a nonprofit and I just fell in love with the community lawyering, and I get to be in the community and helping people throughout the community. So it kind of just builds on the skill of hearing the voices inside of the community to make a change throughout the community. So it's always been a great thing to be able to go to these meetings and hear the community speak about issues, legal issues that can be resolved, just by having an attorney involved.
Yeah, that's good. And a lot of people, I always say this, like they go in with one intention, but they come out with another. And I think a lot of lawyers are guilty of this, where before going to law school, you may hear them say, like even in personal statement, like I want to do this, I want to change the world, I want to be there for the underserved, I want to be a voice for the community. But when they get in, and especially if they start seeing some money, the whole thing changed, where they don't even want to deal with nonprofit organization. It's all about the money for them. So I commend you on what you're doing. The community really needs people like you. And I believe that, you know how they always say, the seed you sow, it you shall reap. So you keep giving, it's going to come back to you in different ways that you don't even expect it to come back to you. So you're doing something good.
Yeah. I agree. No, I agree. 110%.
All righty. So we've heard from Michelle and Christella about what it's like growing up. Well, Christella was in her home country for a little bit before coming to the US. From your perspective, do you see a difference with like being raised in a Jamaican household versus if you were just raised in an all-American household?
There is a difference. I feel like I grew up in a little Jamaica because Georgia knows, she knows my family. If anything, it feels like I was born in Jamaica by my family, the way they are, like everybody's here. And I grew up so close knit to my family, and like they're so cultural that even when I do visit Jamaica, which is often, it's like the same vibes. I don't know how to explain it. So it's like I never missed out as a kid. Like it was just like I grew up in like a little Jamaica in New York. So it was just so then, you know, having that background, I think living in New York too, it's a cultural blend. So when I went to school, I had a lot of Jamaican friends, and I had a lot of Haitian friends, and I had a lot of people from different parts of the country. I didn't, in my school alone, there wasn't, I think, one white kid. Everybody else from a different culture was there. So I didn't really grow up like, you know, saying like, looking at it as like, I had to conform to being a Black American, even though I am one, you know, technically born in the country. So having that perspective, you know, like everybody, it was cultural. So we all like embraced our cultures growing up. And then moving to Florida, that's when I hit the cultural shock, you know, seeing real, truly, you know, Black Americans and the differences in how, you know, even the foods we eat, the things we say, the little sayings that we have that makes no sense to other people, but makes tons of sense to us, you know. But it just, it's a different feelings, and you can see the difference between, you know, who's been growing up in an immigrant household versus those who aren't. In, I think, the way of thinking, because I think like growing up in an immigrant household, you're thinking that you have to be on go 24/7. If you ever met my dad, he's like, he doesn't sleep. He'll go home from work, be in the yard, taking down some ackee from the tree, and then go to the mango water and the plant.
I can attest to that. I was at her house the other day, and that man made breakfast, and he went outside. I did not see him come back inside all day. He was just doing stuff. So
sound like my dad.
And I think that's like the immigrant trait that I've attributed to just keep on doing things and never really relaxing, you know. But you know, that's basically what I see growing up in an immigrant household, I guess, pushing yourself a little bit more because you know the struggles that they used to, you know, grow up with, where, you know, what does my dad say? Like, he has to like eat bullet beef and rice and like and run boat and all that stuff like that they used to do. I don't like,
that's when you cook. So you say, oh, make a run a boat.
Yeah, with all his friends that he used to play soccer with or something like that. So
Yeah.
It's definitely, yeah, it's definitely a change of pace, from, being Black American.
So would you say then that I was going to use a legal term, but get out my head. But would you say then that do you ever feel burdened, like you have to do things a certain way, or you have to accomplish certain things?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. I feel like I guess like what Michelle said, success is like drilled into you when you're little. You're like, you have to make something of yourself, or else like you're failed at life, basically. So it, like, I think me personally, not because my parents told me anything, but you kind of put yourself on this pedestal that you have to make these types of achievements in order to look great in the eyes of, your parents or your grandparents or whoever it may be that made that pathway for you in order to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it's just, I mean, it's I guess you're trying to find that middle ground where you have like the working hard ethic, but also you have that little relaxed system too. I haven't mastered it yet, but hopefully somebody could tell me a way to master that.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. Because right now I'm not even at home. I'm at a hotel and I'm still doing stuff. But I'm gonna take some time and relax though. It's something that I have to be teaching myself. Like, it's a must, because I mean, resting and relaxing is good for you. And we deserve it.
Yeah.
We deserve it. So, you have that pressure where it's like you're not just representing yourself, or when you have a family, your little family, you're representing a whole community. And I mean, the pressure is there, but we also have to think about ourselves. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. So now is the time for you to really put certain things in motion and get it going. If it means like taking a day where it's just your day to chill, relax, read, whatever you like. I know you both like to write. Whatever you like to do, just do it. Focus on you for a little bit. It's worth it. And again, something I'm still learning, because just out of that, I was so like, you don't sit down. What's wrong with you? Like, I'll be in a house and everybody chilling watching TV. I'll sit down for 2 minutes, but then you see me with a broom or something, I'm on the go. Like, just sit down. Yeah, not that serious. Well, that's good. That's good. That's good.
I'd like to ask her a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Tiffany a question. Actually, let me make this comment first. Sandra says, this is such a great forum with loads of pertinent information for people who lack the knowledge of accessing the assistance that's there for them. So we appreciate you guys. My question for Tiffany is, earlier on we heard Christella. Christella is the one who her four parents are from Haiti, right?
Yeah.
And she mentioned about going back to Haiti and how she felt like basically a fish out of water because they saw her as American and not as Haitian. And she's here like telling everybody, I'm Haitian, 'cause my daughter does that too. Tells everybody I'm Jamaican. She got the patois down to the, I'm telling you, the sound, everything precise. And I mean, that would really kill her if she would go to Jamaica and somebody would say or even act like she doesn't have any Jamaican blood running through her vein. Now, in contrast to what's her name again, Christella, do you find that happen? Because you say you go to Jamaica often. How are you treated in Jamaica?
That's a good question. So I embrace that I'm American. I embrace it.
Good.
Like, so it's not, I don't take offense to it, because I know I grew up in America and I don't have the accent. I don't have the patois down to the pat. My brothers do. I don't. So I embrace that. My cousins do. Everybody else does but me. So I embrace that I'm American. And like when I go there, I don't stay at the hotel. We kind of jump around different areas because my family's in different parts of Jamaica.
Nice.
And then even when I'm like, with the locals or everything like that, it's never an issue. They just talk to me regularly. It's never an issue. We just, talk. And then I'm still on the Jamaican vibes because
that's the vibe. So, okay, so like my son, I'm coming attorney. This is so fascinating. Forgive me. My son, he tries to do the patois thing, but he just cannot get it right. So my daughter will laugh at him all the time. And your family is flipped because you're the one that doesn't get it, but your brothers has it. Now, when you go to Jamaica, do you try to speak patois?
No.
Okay,
No.
but the family.
I think you do, Tiffany.
When I'm talking, right, when I'm trying, I don't sound like it. But when I am like speaking regularly and I'm talking to Georgia or talking to my grandma or something like that, my grandma said I have it, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't hear it.
Well, when I was growing up, and we had relatives who would come from abroad, we never wanted to hear them really talk patois because we love to hear the American accent. But my nieces and nephews that are there now, when my children go to Jamaica, they really don't want to hear American. They want to hear my children talk patois because it's just fascinating. The accent is off.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a Jamaican trying to speak Spanish without the Spanish accent. So, but that's good though. Once you get to Jamaica, you already know the food, you know the culture and all of that. So even without the accent, you just blend in and you feel accepted. You don't feel rejection any at all, right?
No, I don't feel rejection.
That's beautiful.
I understand everything, even country.
Ooh.
'Cause if you ever heard my dad speak, yeah, I understand country
Okay.
Jamaicans. So like even when they're talking, I understand everything that they're saying. So it doesn't. I don't feel excluded or anything like that. It's just that I may not speak it back to them in the same language. They say I'm. What do you call that? Posh, bougie.
You bougie.
Oh.
Stush. There you go.
Oh, you stush. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
we say. So actually, this bougie word is what we would call stush in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
no, I
You're
could
big
not
on
get
bossy.
it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Yeah.
It took an American to tell me what that meant. Thank you, Tiff. Thank you, attorney. Back to you.
All righty. So thank you for that. Now, do we have any questions? Let me check the Facebook if we have any questions. Okay, I don't see any question
Just a
here.
comment.
So we had Ray, personal injury attorney. So if you have any issue like car accident, fell in any store, what else? Anyone that did something to you is not criminal related, you can contact Ray. We have Christella, had to go with her baby, but she has a skincare line, hair products, a very good product. Reach out to her on her Instagram, Facebook, her website is in the link provided. Same with Michelle, talented writer. Go on her Facebook, check out her website, like and share her content. And she's in the medical field. She's not a doctor, but she's in the medical field, so she may be able to assist you with certain things. And she's in Tampa, Florida. She's super sweet, and she's a Christian too. So if you need a prayer,
Yes.
call.
Yes.
Call Michelle. And then you have Tiffany. She's an attorney working with a nonprofit organization. So she do a little bit of everything, focusing on family law and housing. So if you have that situation, she may know more so things in Florida, but she may be able to point in the right direction. Her information is also in the comment box, so you can reach out to her. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me. But before you go, what is one thing in relating to what you do that you would like to leave with the immigrant community and those that aren't immigrants as well, but anybody watching the show?
Who do you want to go first? Me?
The prettiest lady can go first.
That's a trick question.
I'm joking. Go ahead.
Well, in regards to the immigrant community, I would say explore And there's not only one path to success. And just to operate in your true purpose and authenticity is key. So I would leave them with that.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Yeah, what I would leave them with is definitely taking care of yourself and your mental well-being. I feel like a lot of times as immigrants, we do work, and then sometimes like we need some time to relax and just enjoy life, enjoy the family. And it's not, work is not going anywhere, but people are growing. Time is something that you cannot get back. So definitely, take time for the people in your life, and then taking care of your mental well-being, because I know some people who will work themselves to death. So, and then the job will just post the job up the next day. So, might as well enjoy your life.
Yep, I agree with that. Thank you so much, ladies. Michelle, when you're going to Nigeria, let me know. I want to come.
Let me know.
I have a question
No,
for her.
know.
I have a question for Michelle.
Let me know.
Yes, I'll let you all know. We'll plan a group trip.
I have a question for Michelle. Don't let her go yet.
Okay, what's the question?
All right, I probably, you probably said it and I didn't hear it. Have you been to Nigeria yet?
Oh, yeah. So I mentioned earlier that I haven't. Family and work just always seem to get, school and work always seem to get in the way. I was planning on going 2020. We were talking about it for a long time. And then, I was going to go for my grandmother's funeral, but COVID. So I wasn't able to go. So hopefully by next year I'll be going. So I'm excited for that.
Okay. The Nigerian community, well, Africa, all the countries, they're big communities. They're big on culture and stuff like that. So no doubt you've been involved with your Nigerian side here, like events and all of that, right? Okay.
Oh, yeah. So it's similar to Tiffany. My entire family is over here. Okay. So like just how she kind of grew up in like a microcosm of Jamaica, I grew up in like a microcosm of Nigeria. Like all my cousins are here. All my aunts and uncles. It seems like new people are coming over every year. Every year I meet some new relatives.
It never ends. So, trust me.
Yeah. So I'm definitely involved. And definitely involved with in Central Florida, we have the Ishan community. My dad's from the Ishan tribe. So I'm involved with that as well, in their community service aspects. So yeah, it's good. Nigerians, we tend to have like little hubs around the country. There's a lot of people in Maryland, a lot of people in Houston and Dallas, and then a lot of people up in the Minnesota, Chicago area. So we have our little hubs.
I'm glad you mentioned the tribe, because that's exactly why I wanted to ask you this question. I have found out that I'm part Yoruba, part Igbo, and part and part what do they call that? Yoruba.
Yeah, Yoruba.
Right, and part Igbo. Now, I have never been there. I am from Jamaica. What I know about our Jamaican community, I think Tiffany can attest to that. She learned a lot about Jamaica in her household and in her community. So she probably would know how we would treat a thief in Jamaica without having gone there, because she's so much a part of the community here in America. She would actually know how we would react to certain things. Now, I'm asking you, do you think I would be accepted from what you know and having, been intertwined in the Nigerian culture here? Do you think that for somebody who was not born there, like me, as I say, being a Jamaican, to take a plane to go there, do you think that, they would accept me saying, okay, well, yeah, because of slavery, yes, but we can see portions of us in you and accept me in their community?
Yeah, I definitely think that you would be accepted. It's something that's happening quite often. I don't know if you heard about what's going on in Ghana, but Ghana recently had something called the Year of the Return, in which they invited a lot of people, because Ghana was a hub for the slave trade.
Yes.
So they invited a lot of people from around the world. It was basically like almost like a festival type thing. of, you know, people of African descent from wherever to come back to Ghana and to, you know, to explore their African roots. And it was really, really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it's kind of a thing to everyone goes to Ghana for Christmas because there's just so much partying and stuff going on. But yeah, I would say that like we're all getting to a point where we realize that we're all the same. We just, you know, some are over there, some are over here. And I definitely feel you'd be welcome. And I think that alludes to what I said earlier about like the bridge building that needs to happen.
Thank you so much.
I agree.
Do you speak the tribal language, or like, you know, about your dad's side and everything?
Yeah, so my mom is Yoruba, so I'm like a mixture of two tribes. I don't speak my dad's language fluently, but I understand it. So, you know, I can definitely, I'll respond in English, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's lovely. And
that's so nice.
Yes.
That's so nice. Yeah.
Whew,
I've been trying to learn Spanish for like, you know, years.
Me too. Me too. I've been trying to learn Spanish over 30 something years now. Oh my God, this is so nice. I'm so grateful that you ladies are on this evening. Thank you so much. Go ahead, attorney.
Yeah, I was just saying I really appreciate it. Like, I think discussion like is needed. We need each other, and the only way we're gonna be able to bridge certain gap is if we have discussion like this. The other speaker was supposed to be, oh Lord, you are hearing that big.
My little godson.
Come and get him. But we're supposed to be talking about children, what's going on the border. He's a youth advocate. I spoke, I think it was on the first or second show. His book was actually won a bestseller, Affirmation to the Game of Life. So a lot of kids are being touched by the different things that are included. So we're just trying to like to do promotion and see how best we can get it into the hands of youth across the country, including immigrant kids who sometimes people look down on. And one of the things that I asked him to talk about today was basically the kids of the border. I know Dr. Monica and I spoke about this before, where basically there is this program you may hear about, SIJ or SIJ, I believe it is, where really when you come here and you can show that you've been abandoned, like both parents, there's certain other elements. I'll get into that on another show, but you can have some caregiver here take over those kids. So whatever resource, whatever we can contribute, you have a lot of groups around the country now donating food, book, blankets, and different things to these youth. So we want to get involved in the community as much as we can. I hear what Crystal is doing, and I'm a big fan of things like that. Like, we have to give back. It doesn't matter where we come from, who we are, we have to keep giving back. So
2 or 3 barrels and everything like that.
Yes, ma'am. So we just keep doing what we're doing. But I'm glad to have you ladies on. I really, really, really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll be in another show together. Michelle, I'm waiting on that information. So you tell me after the COVID, when we go into Nigeria, I'll start saving. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm staying a month.
No, I don't know about a month now. You're going over there to live.
Find me a prince.
Ask Michelle to set you up.
I'll do what I can. I'll make some phone calls.
See, this is why we're friends. This is why we're friends.
Make sure you guys connect on Facebook afterwards.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you both do writing too, so you can check her.
Yeah, I gotta follow her blog. Yeah. I have a blog too, so I'll follow yours.
Oh, awesome.
So Tiffany needs to tell us about that as well, the whole blog thing, so that our listeners can follow you guys.
Yeah, my blog is called Harmony. I just made the webpage for it. I've been doing it since last year, but I just revamped it and I did a webpage for it. Mm-hmm. So it's just about, faith, fashion, lifestyle, and empowerment, and then supporting small businesses. So I do list a whole bunch of small businesses on my website that do need special attention to it. So that's basically, I've been writing since I was a little person, and in my little diary, and then it just grew from there. Like, Michelle said, it's just a passion of mine that you can never give up. No matter what I'm doing, I have to write something. And it's like even help for your mental space too, writing things out.
Yeah.
Awesome. You guys are so powerful yet so humble. I love that. I love that. May God bless you and keep you, and may He make His face shine upon you and extend your borders. And with that, give you peace as well. Oh,
Thank you.
I can't wait to see where He's going to take you all in another couple of years from now. You guys are simply amazing. Love you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Are you done, attorney? That's it for
All
you?
righty, ladies. So I'll see you. Let me check. We have 10 minutes, so I'll just wait around real quick if we have any immigration question. I did get 2 questions earlier today. One question was, I don't know if this person's listening in, but basically she's in a situation where she's married. She has a stepchild, and she was asking me if it's a case where her husband had to get his green card before she can file for her stepchild as a U.S. citizen. And the answer is no. As long as you're able to show the stepmother-stepchild relationship and the marriage happened before a certain point, then you are able to file for that child. Now, I don't know, I didn't get into details, so I don't know what the situation is with the biological parent, but a lot of times in most countries, in order to get a passport, you need both parents' consent. So that may be a blockage, because when you're filling out a petition for the stepchild, you're gonna need that passport information. So give me a call and we can talk some more about it. And then,
so wait a minute before you go to the other question. Is that a Jamaican stepmother we are going to be dealing with?
No, it's a U.S. stepmother, a Jamaican stepchild.
A Jamaican biological mother.
Why you asking? It was a
because
Jamaican
me know how it on. I know it. And this might just be a problem. Women are problem, especially Jamaica. I know I got to be real. Let me talk so Michelle can understand me. We are problem, Michelle. Women.
Oh, I understood you.
I'm telling you, women, we are like that. You see, I am there and I got my child. And sometimes we don't think that it's for the betterment of the child. And once the child gets a better life, then guess what? Most of us, like even Nigerians, Jamaicans, we turn around and we try to help that parent to come to the U.S. And so I just want to drive a little bit of sense in our head this evening. Let the child go. You know what I'm saying? Because you benefit.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No,
yes.
The biological parent is a father. He's Jamaican. But the mom, which this shocked me, the mom is okay with the stepmom doing what she needs to do for the
I've seen that happen before, though.
Good female.
I've seen it. No, I've seen that happen before. I've seen that happen many times in the legal field, and the mom will let the child go with the stepmother who's American.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, you have more opportunities. Like, truthfully, a lot of time we need to push her to the side and really do what's in the best interest of the child. And I mean, I haven't spoken with this person in detail, but based on the brief conversation, it seems like her intent is pure and she's really trying to help this child, because maybe the father is no good anyway. I don't know.
That too, you never know.
We'll see.
But sometimes I know how it can go sometimes, because I haven't been a lawyer, but I've worked in immigration law, being a legal secretary in New York for quite some years, and I've seen it played out where Jamaican, the two women are like, oh no, I'm not sending my child, because but bad stepmothers got a bad rap. Not all stepmothers are bad, but sometimes we're like, oh, I'm in Jamaica, I'm not sending my child over there. Next thing she's gonna do this to my child, X, Y, and Z.
That's
and we're just
true. I've heard that before.
So I just want people to just think about the benefits, that they can get when they allow the child to come.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the other question I got was, the person was very general, and they were asking me about being barred. and if they can return. And for that, typical lawyer answer, it depends. I would have to see like what are you barred for, because you have bar where you're in the country for under 180 days. Over 180 days, it could be a crime, could be a case where you were deported. So it could be all kind of scenario. But just generally, if it's not a case where you're barred permanently, you may be able to layman's term request permission to come back in, or file what we call a waiver. And normally those waivers are based on hardship to a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident that's here. So say, for instance, you have a 3 or 5 years bar, but you have kids that are here or a spouse. So you could show the hardship of you being kicked out of the country, how that's impacting your relatives or your family members that are here. And for that, you could file for the waiver. We can't guarantee that it will be approved, but normally you have different ways of going about this. Again, I would need more information. Just give me a call. You have my Facebook information, Georgia Lawrence LLC, public email, georgialaw21@gmail.com. So you can reach out via Facebook, go on my website, georgialawrence.com, and we can talk some more about it. People has been asking about consultation. Yes, I do free consultation for 15 minutes. After that, you have to pay. So if you can tell me real quickly what's going on, I'll be able to steer you in the right direction, tell you if you have a case, or like tell you real quickly what you can do. But you have this show all of 2 hours. You can come with any questions. So, hey, this is the perfect way for you to have a consultation. Nobody will know it's you. You can just submit your information privately. So remember to like our pages. You had Christella, Ray, Tiffany, and Michelle. Share the information, even if it's something that you don't need someone you know or may be connected with indirectly may need this information. So go ahead and share it. And as always, we appreciate you listening in. Come back again. This is the second Monday. So we're here the second and fourth Monday.
That's right. All right. Thank you so much, Attorney Georgia Lawrence, inside the Law and You, and your guests today. We'd love to see them again. So bring them back when you get a chance so that they can share some more with us. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care now. All right, guys. You've been listening in to The Law and You with Attorney Georgia Lawrence.
Refugees, dirty immigrants, asylum seekers, job stealers, that is what they see. Beautiful faces, thick accents, a melting pot of culture, holding 3 to 4 jobs, back pocket of hopes and dreams, seekers of opportunities, that is what we see. I am Georgia Lawrence, the founding attorney of Georgia Lawrence LLC. I was born and raised in Jamaica. I migrated to the United States with 2 suitcases and $200 to seek a better life. I understand firsthand the importance of having a fighter on your team to navigate the complexity of the immigration system. Hence the reason I chose immigration and human rights law. Here at Georgia Lawrence LLC, we take pride in connecting our passion and purpose to your plan. Give us a call today.
Thank you so much again for listening in to The Law and You, hosted by our very own attorney, Georgia Lawrence, from right here in Georgia. And you can find her at Georgia Law. As a matter of fact, you can email her at georgialaw21@gmail.com. All right, visit the website, Georgia Lawrence, and her Facebook page as well. Want to say many, many thanks to those who came on out, whether it be via YouTube or Facebook, those who are listening in on their iPhones, BlackBerry, Windows Mobile Gadget, Android Gadget, Radio Garden, TuneIn Radio, Nobex Radio, Online Radio Box. Thank you so much. We have many platforms, and just bear in mind that it's not everyone that's listening in is commenting. Want to say thank you so much to Janelle Sheriff for coming out this evening, and Marcia Dawson, soon to be attorney Sandra Rush. Thank you so much for coming in this evening. And let me see who else. Quite a bit. Sandra Wilson. Thank you so much. You have been so supportive this evening, and we're so grateful for that. Thank you to Melrose Allen. Thank you, Natasha. Juliet, thank you so much again. Velma Allen Strawn, thanks for coming on out. Thanks to the beautiful ladies as well. Tamara Jackson, thank you right there for your comment as well. And let me see. I don't want to miss anybody. Tiffany, yes, she posted right here. Ashley, is it Limac? Not sure how to pronounce your name. I hope you saw my response there to you, Ashley. Thank you. And I hope I'm not leaving anybody out. Nicole Williams. Yes, I know I left some names out. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Thank you. Melrose Allen again. Thanks. And it was nice being here with you. Couple minutes to go. It is 8 o'clock, y'all. Thank you for listening in to The Law and You. I'm Dr. Monica, taking y'all with the song again. Remember to support each other, sisters. Sisters, the call is for us. Many times the brothers are supporting each other, but it is so much easier for a sister to tear another sister down than to build that sister up. Can we make that change, sisters? Can we do better, sisters? Can we do better, sisters? This is for all of us. Listen, Chevelle Franklin.
Praise the Lord, that's what you should. Hold fast into the living water. Believe in God's word. It's not about the situation, it's about the Savior. If you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that God raised Jesus from the dead and that Jesus Christ is Lord of all, then you will be saved. Brother, I see you struggling with your past. Brother, yeah, I know your struggles will not last. Take the time to notice you have come a long way. Remember that your steps are ordered. Don't be dismayed. So cast all your cares upon the Lord. He cares for you. It's not about the sacrifice. It's about the Savior. If you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that God raised Jesus from the dead and that Jesus Christ is Lord of all, then you will be saved.
I want to say thank you so much, Sandra. I'm so glad you tuned in today as well. Melrose says a very interesting program, even though I'm studying for my test Saturday. Oh my God, she had to tune in. I'm just loving it. Thank you so much, Melrose. Thank you, Sandra. Attorney Georgia, she's sending a special word to you. Sandra says, thank you for specializing in immigration and human rights. Georgia, our people needs you. That is so true, Sandra. We need her, girl. Attorney Georgia will be back here on the 4th Monday of this month. That takes us all the way to the 24th of May. Don't forget, next Monday we have Dr. Paul Ricketts in the house with Ment. So we have something every Monday of the month, all right? First and third Monday, we have that love program. And second and fourth, we have the legal program. Until then, I'm Dr. Monica saying thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being here with me today. Love you lots until we meet again. Make sure you take care of each other, sisters, all right? Bye-bye.
Struggling with your past, brother, yeah, I know your struggles will not last. Take the time to know that you have come a long, long way. Remember that your steps are ordered. Don't be dismayed. So cast all your cares upon the Lord. He cares for you. It's not about the sacrifice. It's about
that K. Anthony endorses CGR FM.
Refugees, dirty immigrants, asylum seekers, job stealers, that is what they see. Beautiful faces, thick accents, a melting pot of culture, holding 3 to 4 jobs, back pocket of hopes and dreams, seekers of opportunities, that is what we see. I am Georgia Lawrence, the founding attorney of Georgia Lawrence LLC. I was born and raised in Jamaica. I migrated to the United States with 2 suitcases and $200 to seek a better life. I understand firsthand the importance of having a fighter on your team to navigate the complexity of the immigration system. Hence the reason I chose immigration and human rights law. Here at Georgia Lawrence LLC, we take pride in connecting our passion and purpose to your plan. Give us a call today.